является никакой спорной территорией. И Россия давно признала границы сегодняшней Украины.
Тем не значит, что мы собираемся махать шашкой и вводить как-то войска. Это полная ерунда.
С чего это вдруг Крым оказался в составе Украины? По большому счету это решение воспринималось как некая формальность.
Дорогие крымчане, севастопольцы, после тяжелого, изнурительного плавания Крым и Севастополь возвращаются в родную гавань.
Throughout the world, there are numerous territorial disputes among various countries. Some countries consider these territories rightfully theirs and insist that they should belong to them. Today we will discuss territorial disputes in Russia, some of which are current, while others are purely hypothetical. The Southern Kuril Islands, after the Yalta Conference, led to the Soviet Union agreeing to enter into a war against Japan, but only under the condition that they were to be given back southern Sakhalin, which was ceded to Japan after the Russo-Japanese War in 1905, as well as the inclusion of the Kuril Islands in the East Territory. Following Japan's capitulation, the territory was occupied by Allied forces. During the Cold War era, the territory was disputed, but was ignored by the Soviet leadership. Presently, Russia asserts that its sovereignty over the Southern Kuril Islands is completely legal and not open for doubt or discussion. Russia states that it does not acknowledge the existence of any territorial dispute with Japan. However, the Japanese side argues that Russia has no legal grounds to occupy this territory, so the matter remains unresolved today. Crimea stands as the most recent territorial problem, arising during the political crisis in Ukraine in 2014, when Crimea was annexed by Russia. Legally, Crimea is recognized as part of Ukraine, but is under factual control by Russia. Most countries worldwide have expressed opinions on the illegality of the Crimean referendum for annexation. Only a few countries have recognized it, such as Belarus, Russia, Nicaragua, and others. On December 19, 2016, the Union Nation General Assembly adopted a resolution characterizing the situation in Crimea as a temporary occupation and annexation by the Russian Federation of a part of Ukraine's territory. The Karelian question emerged in 1920, a part of the territory transferred to Finland contested by the Soviet Union. Following numerous Soviet-Finnish wars, the territory came under Soviet control. After the dissolution of the Soviet Union, discussions on this issue intensified. However, neither Finland nor Russia raised concerns about reviewing the borders at the state level, although this question is often discussed by other politicians. Post-World War II, Prussia was dissolved, and Eastern Prussia was divided between the Soviet Union and Poland. One-third of East Prussia, along with its capital Königsberg, which was later renamed Kaliningrad, was ceded to the Soviet Union. There is no dispute between two states, however politicians and journalists often raise this issue. Some predicted that these lands might be claimed after a change in power in Germany, but this did not happen. Peterli District. After the conclusion of the Civil War, as per the Paris Peace Treaty, this region came under the administration of independent Latvia. 20 years later, Latvia was annexed to the Soviet Union, and the territory became part of Russia. However, after the restoration of Latvia's independence, it claimed territorial rights over Peterli and its surrounding areas against Russia. In 2007, Russia and Latvia signed a border agreement, with Latvia officially renounced its claims to this region. Pekari District. Following Estonia and Latvia's accession to the Soviet Union in 1940, territorial division was made between them and Russia. However, after the Soviet Union's dissolution, the disputed territories fell under Russia's administrative control. But in the mid-90s, a border agreement between Russia and Estonia was ready for signing. But Russia delayed the signing, seeking to complicate Estonia's NATO accession, as one of the requirements for new members involves indisputable external borders supported by international agreements. This issue gained new significance for Estonia after it joined the European Union in 2004. To date, the issue remains unresolved. Bering Sea and Bering Strait. The 1867 Sale of Alaska, signed by Alexander II, had no provisions regarding maritime spaces. By 1976, the need arose to determine the boundaries as coastal states began using fishing vessels and subsequently establishing exclusive economic zones. The Soviet Union attempted to negotiate with Americans to establish a midline in the Bering Sea. However, Americans disagreed with the division along the midline. Eventually, in 1990, they reached compromise and signed an agreement on the delimitation of maritime spaces. The agreement was ratified by the United States Congress on September 18, 1990, but it's yet to be ratified by the Russian parliament and is temporarily applied after an exchange of notes between the USSR Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the United States Department of State.